Ever heard of a president so unpopular that his own party refused to renominate him? Let's talk about Franklin Pierce, the 14th president of the United States, whose single term from 1853 to 1857 was marked by tragedy and turmoil. Born in New Hampshire, Pierce was a charming and handsome politician, often called Young Hickory of the Granite Hills, a nod to his mentor, Andrew Jackson. He served in the House of Representatives and the Senate before retiring from politics. Or so he thought. The 1850 Democratic National Convention was deadlocked. After 48 ballots, the delegates couldn't agree on a candidate. So they settled on a dark horse, someone nobody really disliked, Franklin Pierce. He won the election in a landslide, becoming, at 48, the youngest president up to that point. But personal tragedy struck just before he took office. He, his wife Jane, and their 11-year-old son, Benny, were in a train accident, while Franklin and Jane survived. Benny was tragically killed. Before their eyes, Jane Pierce, already a frail and melancholic woman after losing to other children in infancy, was devastated. She rarely appeared in public, and a cloud of grief hung over the White House for Pierce's entire presidency. Politically, Pierce's administration is remembered for one incredibly divisive piece of legislation, the Kansas-Nebraska Act of 1854. This law, championed by Senator Stephen Douglas, allowed settlers in the new territories of Kansas and Nebraska to decide for themselves whether to allow slavery, a concept known as popular sovereignty. This effectively repealed the Missouri Compromise of 1820, which had banned slavery in that region for over 30 years. The result? Chaos. Pro-slavery and anti-slavery settlers flooded into Kansas, each side trying to gain control. This led to a violent and bloody conflict that became known as Bleeding Kansas, a brutal preview of the Civil War that would erupt just a few years later. Instead of easing tensions, Pierce's signature on this act ripped the country further apart and destroyed his political career. Pierce also had some foreign policy ambitions. He oversaw the Gadsden Purchase, acquiring a piece of land from Mexico that is now part of Arizona and New Mexico, paving the way for a southern transcontinental railroad. He also tried, unsuccessfully, to purchase Cuba from Spain, but these efforts were completely overshadowed by the domestic crisis he had helped create. By the time the 1856 election rolled around, Franklin Pierce was a political outcast. His own Democratic Party, seeing the disaster of the Kansas-Nebraska Act, denied him the nomination for a second term. They chose James Buchanan instead. Pierce left office a deeply unpopular and broken man. He returned to New Hampshire, his reputation in tatters. During the Civil War, his vocal criticism of President Abraham Lincoln's policies only made him more unpopular in the North. He died in 1869, largely forgotten by the nation he once led. So, while Franklin Pierce was a handsome and well-meaning man, his presidency is a cautionary tale, a story of how personal tragedy and a single, disastrous political decision can lead a leader and a nation down a path to conflict and sorrow. He consistently ranks among the least effective presidents in American history. What do you think? Was Pierce simply a victim of his time, or did his actions directly pave the way for the Civil War? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this look into a forgotten president, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more dives into history. See you next time.